Okay, now we're going to take the handle off. It's a T25 Torx bit right here, right there and there. Okay, looking at the panel, the handle is removed. This upper portion has self-tapping nuts holding it in place. I'm not going to mess with that. This is the door handle that's broken loose, still glued a little bit down this end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break the whole thing loose using my whichever tool works best, and then re-glue it 100%. Okay, I can see what happened in their design flaw. The only place the glue really grabbed, right along here, which you can see, right along there. It's a little bit raised because I had to actually work it. I was pulling from both inside and outside to slowly separate them and work them apart. And so this is a little raise here. I may actually shave that down just with a utility knife, just scrape it, basically. But I can see what they did. It adhered a little bit up here, but then in here it never adhered. And they knew that it was a design flaw, so they shot some glue up in the corner there, and that was it. They left it at that. So when I'm done, this one will be rock solid. Okay, now before proceeding, I am going to glue a lot of this vinyl back down on the back. I'm using Weldwood original contact cement. There is other DAP contact cement, but this one apparently will hold up to heat much better, whereas some of the others will get gooey and break loose on you in the heat of the car. What I'm doing is I'll do a section at a time. I'm not good because if you look, it seems like it's stuck there, but it peels right off. And there's other spots that are stuck on real well. I'm going to leave those alone. But what I don't want to do is glue this panel onto the door panel and just to have this break loose after this is permanently glued onto the door panel. Now if I lift this up, it does come loose all the way up into here. So I want to get that secured, and so I'll do one section, glue it down, and then I'll break loose down here and then re-glue it down. I don't want to break the whole thing loose because I'm afraid that it's under tension and that it's just going to all pop loose from this basically cardboard framework. And I already did the other one. What I found is sometimes it takes 2 coats and you really have to push hard in order to get it to adhere. But this Weldwood stuff, after a few days when it fully dries into that dark yellow glue, should be permanent for me. Now these brackets for holding these snap pins, if you don't line them up properly, obviously the pin's not going to line up with the hole. And fortunately, I'm able to look real close and I can see a line where the edge of this was. And I'll mark that with a marker. And also there's little spots where the glue adhered or peeled off. And I can match that up with spots that are like, there's 2 little dots right there that line up with these 2 little spots here. So I'll show you what I do. Okay, now what I did was that little line, I drew it just basically a little bit on the outside of where the line is in the glue, and then I put a little box mark there and a little box mark there, and so when I line everything up, it lines up pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Sharpie and draw an outline around this whole thing, so when I go to glue it in, I'll know that I'm centering it exactly. And there we have it. Okay, now this one here, located on the edge of the door panel towards the latch, is a little more vague. There are some pull marks in the glue that I'm going to triangulate by drawing lines again on here to try to match it up. But unlike the other ones that wrap around the curve, this one just has a little bit of a curve on the edge there. And just remember, this opening points in towards the door panel. But fortunately, it is actually still attached to the passenger side door. So here's the one on the passenger side door, and as you can see, it's just kind of floating in the middle there. Nothing to really give you an idea of how it lines up, unlike the other clips. And this is what I came up with on this one, transferring the lines from these little marks onto the front. And it's not quite perfect, nothing quite lines up, but I was able to pick out a little bit of an edge there and an edge up there and kind of a blurry edge up here. So these two I think are fairly accurate, and this one here. So between the whole grouping of them, I feel like I got it in there good enough. And there is a little bit of play with the clip inside there. Cross your fingers. Now, along here, you're going to find that the adhesive turned into kind of more of a wax substance, and the glue probably not going to adhere to that. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the 91% alcohol and a Scotch-Brite pad to just carefully clean along there. Avoid going up in here, especially the visible spots where you could leave a visible mark. This will be covered by the door handle down here, and this is where we'll be gluing. Okay, I'm going to use the 91% alcohol, Scotch-Brite pad to clean the glue off the bottom of the clips. Also, I'm going to remove the glue from here because that's all waxy. Wear gloves. When you do this, this dissolved glue is easy to transfer from your fingertips onto exposed surfaces like there. So you want to be careful. Actually, I know from experience, and you'll be able to clean it off with the alcohol and paper towel.